Hello everyone, welcome to another Outlook session with FXGiants. So today we're going to be analyzing four pairs, and the first pair on our watch list is Euro USD. So without wasting further time, let's quickly jump into our charts. So this is Euro USD monthly time frame, and we can see that Euro USD has actually come into a previous major zone, which is a support zone. But as at last week, we broke below this zone. This is the monthly though, and this candle has not yet closed. So if we move down to the weekly time frame, we can get more insight and clarity as to what the market is doing. So if we see here on the weekly time frame, we can see that price has broken below that zone marked out here. We can extend it down to the previous data, but we'll just leave it at this point for now. So we can see that this was a support zone here broken through. So what we'll be expecting to see within the week is a potential push to the upside before a sell continuation to the downside. Why we are expecting a sell continuation to the downside is because if you look at it back to the monthly time frame, we can see that we have other key zones in which price can come back to, since we are looking bearish overall. So if the sell continues, we can target 0.99032 as another zone where price will come into, and that can be our TP1. Then in extension, we can target 0.90896 as our TP2. Let's move down to the daily time frame to see how it looks there. All right, so this is the daily time frame, and we can see that price has broken below a key zone here. You can see it acted as a support here and here. With a break below this zone, we'll be looking for a retracement back to this support, which can become a potential resistance now for the sell continuation to the upside. All right, so we look at it from the let's go down to the hourly time frame. Okay, so on the hourly time frame, we can actually look for longs back into this key zone, which we marked up, which is marked up here with this gray rectangle. But before we expect longs to that zone, we should first want to see a break below above this resistance here. Once we see a break above this resistance, we can wait for a retest, then a buy rather into this major zone which we marked up from our higher time frame. And remember, from this higher time frame key zone, we can see a sell continuation to the upside. Okay, so when do we expect that price may completely reverse? We will only expect a reversal if this daily high is taken out. But as long as our daily high remains intact, we will continue to look for sell continuation following the trend of the markets. Okay, so let's move quick to GBP USD. GBP USD, this is the monthly time frame, and we can see that GBP USD as well is currently in a key zone. You can see it acted as a support, and now for the fourth time price has come into it and is still acting as a support. But we are yet to see any buy signal form on the higher time frame yet to guide us on whether to buy or not. So let's slide down to the weekly time frame for more information. So coming to the weekly time frame, we can see that we have a support here, which also was a support here, but now we have broken below it with these candles. Having broken below these zones, we can target that price may want to come as low as this point. That is about 1.16272 region, and even in extension we can look at 1.14019 region. But before we expect that sell continuation, we may first see a little retracement back into this key zone marked up here before a sell continuation into these zones possibly. If we look at it from the 4 hours time frame, we'll be able to see it clearly. Now on the 4 hours time frame, we can see that we have a support zone here which price has come into, and we have seen a buy signal formed there. So if this buy continues, we can expect some push up into these key zones which we have marked up, and in extension this particular zone before a sell continuation. But overall, as long as this daily high remains intact, our bias remains bearish. We will only look for an overall long positions only when we have broken above this daily high. But as long as the daily high remains intact, our bias remains bearish overall. So moving down to gold, we can as well see that gold has been looking bearish in the past few months. We can see that it came back to its previous high with a massive rejection, and we have been seeing sell in the past 4 months thereabouts. So what should we expect on gold? Let's go to the weekly time frame to study carefully. All right, so here on the weekly time frame, we can see that gold has pushed back to a previous support zone, and we broke through this zone last week. So with the break of this zone, we can expect to see a sell continuation to the downside with our first TP at 17.00 rather, and in extension we can look that price may come as low as 1555.000. Let's go down to the daily time frame for clarity. All right, so looking at it from the daily time frame, price can actually reject and continue to the downside from where it is currently, because it is currently at a key zone, or price can retrace a bit upwards down to about 1804.40 before we see a sell continuation to the downside. But either way, our bias remains bearish on gold. And on gold as well, we want to see this high taking, this major daily high, before our bias changes from bearish into bullish. But as long as this daily high remains intact, our bias remains bearish. All right, so let's move to US oil quickly. So moving to US oil, we can see that we have a massive sell pattern that formed last month on the monthly time frame. With this sell pattern, we can expect that price may come as low as 83.15 on US oil. But before we expect that, let's look at it carefully on the weekly time frame. So coming down to the weekly time frame, we can see that price is currently rejecting at a support zone here. Let's go back. All right, the support zone here. So until we see a break below this support zone, that is when we'll be looking for a sell continuation to about 85.17 level thereabouts. But as long as price does not break below that point, we're going to be careful what we do here. So since we are in a major support zone here, we had a massive rejection last week, we may see some push to the upside as well. Let's go to the daily time frame to see it clearly. All right, so on the daily time frame, we can see that price came into that support, and we've been seeing some buy signals. But if you look at this point here, you can see that price has pushed back, has retraced into another key zone, which is its support, which can now act as a resistance. But if price fails to react from this resistance, price can still push higher into this resistance before we see a sell to the downside. But above all, we want to see this high taken first before our bias is going to change from bearish to bullish. But as long as this high remains intact, there is high possibility that price may continue to the downside. So that's going to be it for today. We're going to be watching how price develops within the week, and we're going to send out updates. If you like this outlook that we have put out, you can actually follow us on all our social media platforms. We are on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and all. You can follow us, and the name of our platform is FXGiants Nigeria. Kindly follow our handle, and don't forget to like and subscribe to get more educational information from us. Thank you, and I wish you a good week.